G'day mates, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is a super special one. I'm interviewing console pro Byzic. He has over $35,000 in earnings, over 200,000 followers on all of his platforms and socials, and he's just a really good guy to talk to. I put it out on Twitter that I was gonna ask him some questions that you guys had, so I threw some of those in there. We talked about what his thoughts are on the console PC price split, how he thinks PC players just don't respect console players and why that is, how he improved as a console player, and just pretty much everything in between, all the stuff that you guys would want to ask a top tier console pro. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please chuck a like on it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me know in the comment section down below any pros or people you want me to interview. I really love making this content, and honestly, please go check out all Byzics Socials. They'll be in the description. He deserves all your support. This guy's the absolute homie. Obviously. Now, I'm gonna admit from the start, I'm not as well versed on console pros and the console scene as I am PC. So obviously, anything I ask as far as like pro players and stuff like that, I might not know, but I'll let you introduce yourself for anyone who's watching who hasn't met you before. Who are you?
Well, my name is Byzic. I'm a console player. I've played console, obviously all of Fortnite for like the past 3 years. We just got our first tournaments a year ago, and just been grinding hard since then.
Okay, so you're like OG. So when did you first start playing Fortnite?
I started all the way back in October 2017.
Jeez, what season is that?
It was for the first season. I don't even think seasons were a thing.
Wait, you started like before seasons, like you were season 0?
Yeah.
Damn, okay, all right, that's sick. Okay, so you've been playing for ages, obviously on console the whole time. Now that's gonna be the main point of today's discussion, guys, is going to be around obviously console and the console pro scene, and a whole bunch of you guys had questions for Byzic on how he improves stuff like that. But so you've been on console since the very start. When did you start kind of like trying to go pro or started competing? Was that when console PC prize pools got split, or were you still competing before then?
For like the longest, like it was 2 years before we got anything.
Yeah.
So I was just watching. And all those. Just like, I guess that's where I just got all my IQ from, I guess you could say.
Okay.
And then when we didn't have tournaments, I was just, just playing pubs for fun, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So then once you started getting tournaments, that's when you started like full grinding into it. Because obviously we just talked about it then before I started recording. Like obviously you play in scrims, you practice. What does your daily schedule look like as far as you? Because I want to know if this is any different to PC.
I just hop on for a few hours in the morning, like play arena, just do whatever for the day.
Okay.
And then all throughout the day, I'm just doing like homework, just chilling, stuff like that. And then at night, if it's like a FNCS, start grinding elite scrims.
Okay.
And,
all right. And then
pretty chill.
Do you spend much time in creative? Like, do you do much free building? Like, okay, no, really? So you just play arena and scrims, like that's it?
Yeah, I don't creative much because I just don't play creative.
Okay, and well, that kind of leads into my question I want to ask about your playstyle, because I think one of the most interesting things I found about going back and looking at like your score dream hack was the fact that, especially in round 2, you had 0 eliminations. So a lot of people try to do the whole like, oh, console aim assist, you know what I mean? Like they get all these kills and of course they can place, like, but you didn't. Like you played really smart. Do you think that you're a smarter player than you are mechanically strong? Like, what do you think your strength as a player is? You're definitely smarter?
Yeah, definitely just positioning. Okay. Just getting where I need to be.
See, that's
without
crazy.
Getting myself griefed.
See, most people wouldn't think that. So do you think as well, because a lot of people are going to try and take it away, which we're going to get to, but so do you think the console practice is good enough? Well, clearly you've proven that it's good enough where you know how to rotate, you know how to play endgames for placement and purely placement. So you think the practice is good enough in the console scene to kind of get to that level?
I wouldn't really say playing straight console scrims would be like the best. Definitely just like watching like PC scrims and stuff like that. That'll 100% get you what you need, because that's what happened to me. I just always watched PC comp from day one, and
so you do a bit of VOD review. So you mostly VOD review PC players. You don't actually VOD review like many other console pros or watch any console gameplay. It's mostly PC gameplay.
I don't watch anything back. Like I'll just watch like live events. I don't VOD review at all.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But, yeah.
Just from watching and picking it up. All right, sweet. And then do you think so from watching that? Obviously, that means that from you watching the PC gameplay and then taking it to console, they must be in your eyes pretty similar then, right? Like, do you find that the console and the tournaments are a lot easier? Because obviously that's the main thing I want to get into. As someone who's played both, who honestly I respect for not getting super offended when you ask that, do you find the console tournaments easier than PC, or do you find them pretty similar?
Well, obviously it's definitely gonna be easier because most of the people, they don't play the game like for a job. They just play for fun. And then they just get tournaments. So
And then do you
But
think...
yeah, it's definitely easier.
And then do you think there's a high level, like at the top level though, like players like you as well? Again, I don't know the console like scene as well. Are there any, like, are there a lot of other pros like you that you do think give you a good challenge when you verse them in a game, in a fight? Or is it more because there's so many other players, you're kind of just having to place higher, but you're not versing each other as much?
Like, there's a lot of top players, like probably like 20 that would have a really good chance on PC.
Okay.
But we definitely don't run into them a lot because, you know, like cash cups and stuff, it's just, there's not much to run into them.
Okay, so you reckon there's about 20 console pros that you think could place on PC if they went to PC?
Yeah, on any 100%.
Okay, and a lot of
20.
That's gonna get into my obviously the notion of swapping, because that's the main question. I posted on Twitter, I talked about it on stream questions. Most people have the question around swapping, and I think most people have this mindset that, oh, they're not swapping because they just want to get the free easy console money, blah blah blah. Do you see that as the case, or is there a reason why you haven't swapped yet, or other pros haven't? Is it because the prize money is better, or do you just enjoy playing on console more?
I'd say I definitely enjoy playing console. Like,
okay,
you know, it's definitely a challenge. Like, it's not 100% easy. Like, you definitely have to be good to place. But there's just, like, with the prize pools being literally the exact same, there's literally just no reason to switch.
Okay, so it is. It's mostly, so like, obviously you enjoy it, but it is prize pool oriented. If they change the prize pool, like, let's say, at what point, like, I know you just bought a PC, right? So are you considering switching to PC soon? Is that something you're going to do a little bit of? Are you going to still stay mostly console, or what is your plan for PC?
I think if FNCS literally stays the exact same prize pool, there's no reason to completely switch for FNCSs.
Okay.
But like for like champion cash cups where you just can't place in that on a console, just hop on the PC for that and just try and place.
Okay, and then that gets into my question. So I don't know if you've heard my thoughts on prize pool split. The way I like a 50% console PC prize split, but I think the console split should be a lot thinner. I don't think first place should get as much as PC first. I think it should go to like top 200, top 300, right? Because then it's rewarding the fact that, as I'm guessing you're touching on, console isn't as competitive all the way back, but the goal for a lot of people would be to get them onto PC, right? Where that could be enough to get money to then buy a PC. And then if you win a PC tournament, you win more. Do you agree with that, or do you like the split the way it is? Obviously, it benefits you right now. You're making a lot of money, but do you think it should be that way, or you're just happy to take the money you're being given?
We definitely should not have the exact same. I think we should definitely have less.
Okay.
Because, you know, it's just console. It's just how it is.
Okay.
You can't do as much on 60 FPS. You have mad input delay.
Yeah,
it's just, it should definitely be used as a stepping stool to get to PC. Where then you could just make, if you're really good on PC, then you should make really good money. Okay,
awesome. And you think right now, so Epic Games, by having the complete 50-50 split and the exact same price pool, they're kind of hurting that, right? Because a lot of you guys aren't switching off console. You've even just said you've bought a PC, but if they keep the price pool the same, you're not full switching, right? Because it would be financially stupid to do so.
Yeah, it would just make no sense.
Even content-wise too, right? Like, you've garnished a big following because you're a console pro. Do you think you'll lose that a bit if you start playing PC more, or do you think the console players would love to come watch to see you place to prove that console players can do it when they go to PC as well?
If I 100% switch, there's no question I'll definitely lose some following. You know, it's just everyone's from console that has followed me, and they follow me for console. But if I switch and start placing on PC, then I might lose a console, but then I'll start gaining PC fan base for PC. So
I think
it's really just a high risk, high reward, pretty much.
Yeah, I want to see it. I'd love to see someone go from console, go to PC, and place regularly. Obviously, you placed in the Nikkei 30 Cup. That's why I reached out to you and stuff. That's incredible. Congrats again. But people are going to try and take that away, right? They're going to say, oh, the format, it was all about placement. He just hid. Like, they're going to look to take it away from you in any way possible. I'm sure you're used to that now as well. And obviously, you touched on the fact that you have a very logical thought process on how the prize pool split works. You pretty much have the exact same view as most PC pros, yet still you'll cop a lot of hate from PC players because they just assume that you don't think that way. Do you think that you kind of get lumped in with that bigger group of console? Because unfortunately for you guys, you have a younger fan base, you have a younger player base, and I think they're the loudest. So most people think that, you know, the console pros don't want the prize pools to change. But are the other pros agreeing with you? Like, do they agree that it's not fair and they're just doing it because why wouldn't they? Or do you think some of them actually genuinely think consoles should get 50%?
Like the top players, I highly doubt they would legitimately think that they deserve that money.
Like, fair enough. Yeah, but that's the thing. No one can hate on you, right? You're doing, I mean, the opposite. There's PC players that are switching from placing on PC to come play on console. And
that's the part that I don't like, is them coming back. Like, native people like me, I've never played on PC a day in my life. So like, I think that prize was for me. So I should definitely play on it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that makes more sense, right? But then I guess that's the thing, right? Like it'll get to the point where even with it being less, like so let's say it's like 70-30, I still think console players who win a tournament or get good prize pool and don't instantly switch to PC will still get hate. And that's what's kind of going to be scary, where I don't want a lot of console players to be expected to go to PC, because then you're not only going to get hated from PC, you're going to start getting hated from console players, right? Like, hey man, you won one of the tournaments, shouldn't you go buy a PC now? Do you get any of that? Like, do you get hated on by other console players for staying on console?
I wouldn't say hate. They just like, there's just like every time I go live, there's always people saying like, "Why don't you have a PC? Are you switching to PC?" You know, it's just PC, PC, PC.
Yeah, your chat would be interesting.
It's just, it's not really a hate. It's just like they're just wondering. They just don't understand.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, that's the thing as well. And like I feel like a lot of console players don't get the platform to speak, right? I feel like if you made a tweet saying this, because obviously I agree with you fully. If you made a tweet saying this, I think you would just naturally, instantly, people would disregard it, right? They just think, oh, it's console, blah, blah, they're stealing the money, whatever. But you've now placed on console against PC. Do you think, especially with next gen coming out, that's going to happen more often?
Well, we're still on 60 FPS, which you know.
Yeah.
If we got put up to 120, like there's definitely, like in DreamHacks, it's very likely you'll see a console player there.
Okay.
Like,
and then from someone who's played old gen, and then you've played new gen as well, right? I saw a video of that. No, you haven't.
No, I'm getting it this weekend.
No way. That's how hard it is for you guys to get a hand on console. You can't even. Okay. All right. I was going to ask you about input delay and stuff. Have you talked to anyone, or what's your, like, are you excited for it, having heard that the input delay is way better? Like, do you think it's going to make a massive difference still on 60, or the big difference will come when it jumps up to 120 FPS?
Well, I've watched a few games of people that have played like stacked end games on the new gen, and like it stays like almost above like 55 the entire time. It's almost constant 60.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's still helpful in itself. Yeah, that's very helpful in itself. Does that scare you though, that if it's even dipping around like the 50 marks, if say it gets unlocked to 120, what frames do you think it's realistically going to get to? Obviously you're not a tech expert and stuff, but having played on it, like if it's still not even holding 60, I'm worried that people have got their hopes up they're going to get 120 in 40-man endgames. I'm looking at like 80, I think, like maybe like 80, 90-ish.
Yeah, that would probably be a good estimate.
Okay, well, I mean, that's still a big difference. So you've never played on PC, like you've ordered a PC, it's coming, but you've never played on a PC before?
Yeah, never.
So you've never played without input delay? Like the input delay you experience right now?
Yeah, there's no delay. I don't feel anything.
That's crazy. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I think that'll be heaps of fun as well. I mean, that's crazy. Okay, and then, so for you, so you're thinking, so with like trying to find console teammates, do you find that harder than what you think it would be PC? Because the player pool for people you can play with is a bit harder. Again, I apologize, didn't follow too much of you playing duos or anything in the past. Like, do you find it's harder to find good teammates on console?
If you're a top player, it shouldn't be difficult, but if you're like unknown, and you don't have any if you don't have a friend group, it's just gonna be impossible. There's just nowhere to find anybody if you're unknown. So
that'll be my next question as well. How did you break out through console? Because console was hard, right? Like even I'm not gonna lie, you're literally one of 2 console players that I can name. So like, how do you think you got to that point? Was it placing, or was it the fact that you started making consistent content as well?
It's definitely both. Placing, you like if you place, you have to make content if you want to have like a lasting paycheck, I guess you could call it. Yeah,
even just a following. It just gets you, like if you're placing, you have to make content. Like coming first in a console cup won't get you a lot of attention. The video and the content you make around it definitely will.
Yeah, like just streaming it, that's just thousands and thousands of viewers.
Okay.
And all the console players are gonna want to watch that, and like they want to win too. Yeah. They're just gonna watch that and look for tips and stuff.
Fair enough.
So definitely just make content.
Okay, and then it's like we touched on a little bit earlier. Do you think so for console players trying to improve at the game, right? Do you think is any different at all to the process on PC? Like, right, like you just like you hit creative, you need to work on your edits, you do free builds, you do 1v1s, realistics. Do you think it's any different on console? Like, is the playstyle on console that different to PC, where you need to practice for a different style of game, or it's similar enough where you just have to play the same game, just the average that you're versing is a little bit worse?
I guess it's really just comes down to probably just like your scrims. If you like elite, there's not many people in elite, obviously, because you have to have top earnings and stuff. But I don't really know, to be honest.
Well, because like, say so you played the Nikkei 30 Cup, right? Like you played the round 2 of the Nikkei 30 Cup. That's against, you know, 90, 98, 99 other top tier players from different regions. Did that feel similar or different in any major way to the elite scrims, right? Like if you're versing the best of the best console, best of the best PC, is it not even a skill level? Is there a gameplay difference? Is console more aggressive? Is PC more passive? Did you feel any of that or not really?
Well, I'd say PC is definitely going to be more aggressive because, you know, they could just do more edits and everything in that time, like to get a free refresh and stuff like that. Like when I was out of mats on low ground in like second moving zone, I'm just dead. Because everyone's just gonna like, they're just gonna be like, so I don't know what you would say, just like ready for it because they're on 240 FPS, you know, they just expect it.
Refresh is a lot easier end game. You can't, like you're playing smart. Because obviously people always do the whole console aim assist, blah, blah, blah. Like that might work maybe in an early to maybe early mid-game fight in a stack lobby. But even then, if you're versing a good player, trying to just get in their box isn't going to work anywhere near as well. So when it gets to end game where, refreshes are a lot easier, right? Second rotating, people start running out of builds, you can actually get in someone's box. That's when you're at a massive disadvantage, right? Like it goes down the drain. Do you think console players need to, do they need to play different? Like you play smart, right? You've worked more on being smarter than mechanics. Do you think that is the approach?
Well, if you're trying to place against people that are better than you, like FPS, obviously, you're gonna have to outsmart them because with your mechanics, you just can't be as good as them. It's just a fact. So as soon as I was out of mats, like I just can't get a refresh. Like I'm just dead. I just have to try and ride placement as much as I can until maybe somebody can come running out and like get a 200 pump or something. But I just can't get a refresh at that point.
And do you think that's part of the reason of your success? Because I'm not gonna lie, like not just console, PC as well, you're probably one of the most humble pros I've spoken to. Do you think that was part of your success, just accepting that if I'm versing PC players, chances are mechanically they're gonna be better than me, so I have to be smarter? Where most people don't do that. They hate accepting that someone might be better than them at some aspect of the game.
Yeah, because like in my loot route, I don't know if you land, or I don't know if you know, but I land Coral Castle.
Oh, okay.
So there was a lot of people around there, and I just have to get what I can get and just run.
And just make it work,
Yeah, because if I have shambles loot, it's just how I have to play it because I cannot fight them. If I fight them, I'm dead. Like,
damn, okay. Well, I mean, that's pretty much everything I had to ask, man. I really appreciate you jumping on with me. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you wanted to say? Is there anything you want to shout out your socials? I know you obviously make on YouTube. I'm gonna put it all in the description of the video and stuff. But is there anything else you wanted to say or shout out?
Just follow my Twitch. It is Byzic, BYZIC. Stream there every single day.
Let's go. Let's go. Do you do
Twitter
every day?
Byzic. Yeah,
you're a daily streamer. Damn. Okay, so that's what we're talking about. The following. Okay, Twitch and Twitter, same thing. Byzic as well.
Yep, and then YouTube BH space Byzic.
Oh, let's go, baby. I'll put them all in the description as well, guys, because you definitely gotta check it out. Daily streams. Are you the only console player that daily streams?
Yep.
That's nuts. And what is your average viewers like right now? Like if you're like during a tournament and then during like just playing like scrims or something?
During a tournament, probably like 1,500. I'll go no lower than that.
Nuts.
And then like at the end, I'll max out like 3K. But then if I'm just playing like arena or like sub customs, I'll average probably like 800.
That's so insane, man. Congratulations, dude. That's actually nuts. Off a console too. Like people just wouldn't have thought that's possible because that's no face cam, no like you can't even have overlays or alerts, right?
Yeah.
That's
it's just
nuts.
People. It's a lot of people on console. They just don't grind it. There's just no reason not to.
This just make content, right? Like it's so crazy for me outside looking at pros placing and just not making at least a video on it. Like it's nuts, but I don't know. You figure out the formula. Well done, dude. Thank you for jumping on with me. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, dude. Thanks for jumping on. I really hope that if you do go to PC, it's good. I know I'll be watching it as well.